I believe that AI moving forward is going to be the best way to make video games. And obviously, I'm biased, but I want to use this video to talk a bit more about what it is that I mean. Now, what I'm doing is obviously somewhat unique. I'm using AI for pretty much everything. I'm using AI to do all the code, the images, etc. Now, what I will say is that I think that for people that are not into game development or people that are getting into it or perhaps even already in it, I think using AI for some aspects is a bit of a no-brainer. One of the biggest things I will say is for music. Things like Suno for music is really, really quite good. It was a absolute game changer for my game Scarred Steel and even for the game I'm making now, Primus. That is pretty much like I've already made really, really good music. And traditionally, well, the usual way, obviously, to get that music would either be to make it or to hire someone else to make it. But at the same time, likelihood is for your game, you're probably not just going to have one bit of music. You're probably going to want a series of soundtracks. And with Suno, I think the subscription was like £8 a month. And literally, I'd buy it for 1 month. I'd make tons and tons of songs, and then I'd just pick a handful of them, maybe a bit more, and I'd integrate that into my game. And the cool thing with Suno is that in terms of the rights to use it, you literally just like as long as you've got an active subscription, you've then made the music, you can literally cancel the subscription, and all of the music that you made is yours to use however you want, or at least as of now. So that's obviously really, really useful. So like even things like that for me, it's just a no-brainer, right? Because it's just easier. Then you got things in terms of images. Now, images and AI, obviously, have a bit of controversy. And if I'm honest, when it came to Scarred Steel, I was really quite struggling with images for the game. I kept changing the art style, and I think partly the issue was that the AI models or the image models got better over time, and sometimes I'd accidentally make a better quality image, and then I felt like I needed to refine everything else. So that's a bit mixed. What I would say is that I think it's still good. I think it just depends on the sort of thing that you want to use the image models for. Which I think in my case it's like things like backgrounds for the game, art, characters. Like I think AI can do it all. I think again, it's just trying to be a bit more careful on is this the right art style, etc. Then you've got the coding aspect. Now, this is probably just the biggest one for me. So at the moment, I've obviously released Scarred Steel. I spent like 784 odd hours on that, and at this moment in time, I don't know how to code, right? And I don't intend to learn it because I don't need to. And it's kind of interesting because when people hear the idea of outsourcing the coding to AI, people get a bit iffy. But the way I sort of looked at it is like, well, these bigger gaming studios, for example, which have multiple people, the actual founders of that a lot of the time probably aren't doing the coding. Or if they are, they're probably not doing all of it, right? They're probably outsourcing it to various people. So in my views, it's like, well, what difference does it really make when I'm outsourcing it to AI? And matter of fact, I think AI does it far more efficiently and obviously a lot cheaper as well compared to hiring people. Like for Primus, for example, I literally went back and forth with Gemini, made a very big plan of all of the functions or a lot of the functions that I wanted in the game, and I basically got Gemini to make loads of prompts. I queued about 11 or 12 prompts into the cursor, and literally went for a walk, came back, it still had six more, went and ate, and it still had like two left. Like it was just working at it, but it applied pretty much everything that I wanted first try. It made all the scripts that I wanted. Like all I can really say is like you don't know how good it is until you actually try. Because yeah, one of the things I do want to do with this channel is I do want to encourage people to actually give this a go if that is of interest, right? If you're following on just because it seems interesting, then that's cool. But if you're following along because perhaps you might want to get into game development, I think going down the AI route might be all right. Now, again, there's obviously controversy, but at the same time, I think for me, what matters the most is doing something that you actually want to do and that you enjoy doing, and this is that for me at least. Um, so yeah, like I think one of the big things I will say is that I genuinely do think that using AI is a more efficient route, especially for people that well, the way I look at it is this: you can either spend years and years of time learning how to code, and you can do that, right? Or you can use the AI route, you can outsource the more complicated bits and you can focus on the more creative bits. Now, are there still downsides to using AI? Yes. When I come across issues and bugs, I have to rely on AI to fix that. Now, that said, I will say AI does, or at least Cursor, does incredibly well at being able to fix it. If I have bugs come up and like errors come up in Unity, I can usually copy and paste all of them into Cursor and say fix these, and it usually, for the most part, fixes it within the first try or the second try. So again, like I think that is just what's really, really quite good with what we got going on. Now, if you do have any questions about AI game development, I do have like a chat channel that you can talk to me on Discord and ask me questions and talk about that. More than happy to talk about it. I'd like to think that things like AI game development will become bigger over time. But that's pretty much where I'm at. Obviously, I'm going to continue building Primus. And yeah, hopefully we can get a coming soon page out within the next couple of weeks, and just start getting things out. Because I'm looking forward to continue making games that I would enjoy playing, and hopefully you'll enjoy playing them as well. But that's pretty much the video. I'll catch you soon.